Greetings and welcome everyone to 99 Spirits. 99 Spirits is this Japanese title that was recently translated into English. And now before we get any further into the video, I just want to mention that if you enjoy what you see in this video, then be sure to vote for this game on Steam Greenlight. They're currently running a Steam Greenlight campaign, which basically means they're just trying to get onto Steam, and if you give them an upvote on there, they'll have a higher chance of getting onto Steam. So if you enjoy the game, then be sure to do that, or maybe buy it, I guess, if you're weird. Anyway, let's get 99 Spirits started. Now, 99 Spirits is a very unique game. It's kind of like an RPG, I guess, but only sort of, but not really. I'm honestly hesitant to really call this any one specific genre, I guess. Maybe turn-based action, but that's really not very specific. But let me just explain to you what it is. Okay, so this is where we'll be spending about 50% of our time in this game. We'll be on this sort of like board sort of thing, and we'll be making our way around this little grid. Now, if we click, we can move around the map by just clicking, essentially. It helps if we're more specific with our movements and make lots of small movements and then rather one big movement, because these little cloud things here, I don't know what you'd call them, I forget the name for them actually, they're like Tsukumogami? Yeah, it's Japanese. No, it's not my strong suit. Anyway, yeah, so these Tsukumogami are basically bad guys, and these bad guys are really out to get you, so you want to avoid them. And so the best way to avoid them is to just, walk around them, believe it or not. So if we make lots of small movements and walk around them, then we'll avoid them, simple stuff, right? But if we make one big large movement, like across the map, our character will probably walk into them, and they make like the most inefficient movements possible. So now, also something that's on here is if you look at the left side here, we've got hunger. We've got 14%. Basically, this just means how fast you move around the map. So if you want to move around really quickly, you got to have 0% hunger. And if you're at 100%, then you'll move basically slower than a snail, which is not really fun because snails, just in case you didn't know, they move really slowly. And so if we want to get somewhere in a hurry and we're moving slower than a snail and all that, it's like not very fun. So with that being said, let's start the actual combat, which is where you'll be spending 50% of the game. Well, the other 50% of the game. This is where the other half will be spent, basically. So what do you do? We're versing just basically this giant thing, whatever it is, Tsukumogami, right? Anyway, well, to basically put it simply, we just attack them like so. Actually, no. Is that what? Yeah, no, hold on. Well, we can attack them, I suppose, but what we really should be doing at this point is defending, because this thing can apparently attack us, believe it or not. So what we need to do is we need to defend, because that allows us to actually see what is behind this, like, cloud. So, oops, I messed up there. I wasn't intending to do that. So we need to reveal what this monster is before we can actually attack it. So what we need to do is we need to figure out its name. So by attacking it, we charge up our little meter down here, so we can press C to activate this, and we're told it's a food item. Alright, so that's good to know. So now let's attack it a bit more. There we go. And now we can press C again, and we can learn that it has the letters PST in it. So now, because we used our defend item, that gave us charge in this little thing, and that allows us to guess its name. Now, I've purchased this spirit index, so I get to have like a little hint sort of thing. Basically, it tells me like what are the options. So a possibility is chopsticks, since we were told it's food related, and it's also got PST in it. So let's press CHOPSTICKS. There we go. Is that right? Yes, it is. Okay. And now, this is where the real fighting begins. Basically, you can now damage it, and then after we successfully beat it, we will have, we will have gotten some experience, we will have gained some random items, the basic sort of RPG stuff like that. As we progress further into the game, there is a much more deeper element to the combat, there's like this apparently like Pokemon minigame and shit like that where you can like collect the Tsukumogami and use them in battle against other Tsukumogami, which is just blows my mind, to be perfectly honest. Anyway, so now it's time to do this again. So we need to take a defensive stance. And now, if there's one thing I would like, it's that, okay, so I wish like by default your defensive stance would like charge up quicker. There are upgrades you can take so that your defense charges faster, but I don't have that yet, so it is a bit annoying, but it can be fixed by just purchasing an upgrade. So yeah, oops, hold on, no, let's exit out of that. We need to attack this Tsukumogami first so we can figure out what its actual name is. So let's just counter this guy. So by defending against an enemy attack and then pressing Z or pressing the counter button, we can engage in a counter attack, which was basically just, it'll tell us, it'll just charge up our little thing more. And so what's useful about that is that by attacking the player, it allows us to react to it, and then we have to, you know, use our quick reaction skills to actually react, and that will allow us to basically it'll just keep us on our toes while also rewarding us for staying on our toes. So, and I like that. So it could be sort of seen as like a quick time event in the middle of a battle, but it's sort of like the whole combat. I agree with that. It is sort of pretty much a quick time event, but you know what? I'm fine enough with it since it is a very common thing, so it's not really unexpected. It's a bit weird how in this game makes you expect the unexpected, which doesn't make a lot of sense, and I've always hated that expression, but this game does make you expect the unexpected, which is, you know, it makes it expected, I guess. Anyway, we were told this is related to a temple, and then I wasn't looking at the rest of it, so I don't know what it said. So I'm just going to attack it again rather than making a bad guess. Alright, one more attack, and then we go. Now we've got our little gem charged up. Oops, hold on. Gotta attack it. There we go. So it's a passage and a temple. What would that be? Passage, temple. Don't really know, to be honest. So as we progress in the game, there will be new enemies that have different names. So after you like figure out all the names for these bunch of enemies, there will be new ones, and you got to guess those. And it can be sort of annoying sometimes, where temple again, really. It can be annoying where you'll think of because this is a Japanese game, you'll consider one thing to be one thing, but the Japanese have it differently. Like sliding, I don't consider sliding to be associated with door. I consider door to be associated with like pulling and pushing and stuff like that, not sliding. But because in Japan, you know, sliding doors are much more common than they are in like Australia and shit like that, it's like I don't instantly associate it with that, so it is that sort of problem there with like we don't exactly understand each other one-to-one. Is that right? I don't know. If we get it wrong, we will get hit, we'll take some damage, and that's no good. Now, also, you can't, there's also an incentive to not just, you know, spam at everything forever for eternity and trying to brute force your way through, like, the questions, you know, like, actually thinking, because you have something called weapon resistance. Basically, this means the more you use your sword, the more likely it is to, I believe, lose damage, and also at the same time, I don't want to trade with you, you weirdo, and also at the same time have it just break, which could just mean you're out of commission pretty much, so that's no good. Also, you might be able to hear that, I'm not sure, but the person speaking is Japanese. That's because I got the digital deluxe edition or whatever it's called, and that allows me to swap to Japanese. Normally it's spoken in English dialogue, so if you want it to be spoken in English, that's perfectly fine, because, you know, they've got you covered. If you do get the standard version, though, do know that you actually can't swap back to Japanese voices, because, well, you only have English in the standard edition, at least in the, like, translated version. I assume the non-translated version has the Japanese voices. I don't really have a preference. I was just sticking around in the options menu and I forgot to set it back to English. There isn't really that much spoken dialogue that is that important. Honestly, the only spoken dialogue that I know of is the main character here, when she says something like, "Alright, time to go," or "Let's get to it," and stuff like that. So it's nothing really important. She's not saying stuff like, "Hey, this important plot element, here's the answer to it. There's nothing like that. So it's not that big of a deal. It's a nice little addition though to have Japanese voices if you prefer Japanese voices. So that's okay, I guess. Let's try Hatchet. Hatchet. I do like the fact that they have direct keyboard input. Ah, that was incorrect. Oh well. Alright, so now because we got it wrong, that means it attacks us and we lose health. Once we reach 0 health, we will die, unfortunately. That's just sort of how it works. Okay, so H and A. H and A? That's Hatchet! Damn it! This game's cheating. Did I misspell it? I hope not. Alright, so that's also a problem, misspelling words, because you, like, did an accidental typo and then you... Oh, yeah, but that's just... So, this game is really unique in how it, like, works, because it's like Typing of the Dead meets, like, Final Fantasy. It is absolutely insane. Protector. Alright, Protector. H. Oh, Hat. How about that? Yeah, Protector of our hair and face and all that. Thank you, Mr. Hat. Alright, now we have to kill a hat, because this hat has been attacking us. That's right. When these are evil hats that have been attacking us. Well, not just hats, but also, like, hatchets and doors that can attack us. That's right. These Tsukumogami take over the spirit of some really generic stuff. So, then they attack you, which is impressive, because these are really intense monsters as well. Like, they completely obliterate villages, and they're fucking hats. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine, compare it to, like, all the, imagine, like, a group meeting of all the villages in RPGs. Like, oh, what killed you? Oh, this horrible dragon from, like, the underworld. What killed you? Oh, me? A hat. Fucking embarrassing, I say. I would not want to be killed by a hat. I'm just saying that right now. If there's any way, like, my least favorite way of dying probably would be by death by hat. Just doesn't sound very impressive at all. Like, death by a dragon, like, yeah, you probably couldn't have done that much about it. It's a fucking dragon. Death by hat? Come on, mate. It's a hat. Alright, open, it said. So, what have we got here that is related to open? So now, this is actually a pretty fun game because it is, like I said earlier on, there is that problem where you sort of associate something with something that the developer didn't associate with, but for the most part, it generally works. Oh, box. Let's try box. We open boxes, don't we? Ah, incorrect answer. Alright, well, we're taking a lot of damage now, so let's use some of our items. So now, so by clicking items, we can use some 100-year medicine, and that will give us some health, which is just fine and dandy. I like that. And now we're back at full health, and our weapon is starting to get pretty, NDA. Non-disclosure agreement? I guess I'm not allowed to talk about it. Never mind. Anyway, so my weapon is getting pretty exhausted right now, so I'll also need to go to a blacksmith to fix that up, because, yeah, if it reaches the max level of, like, being broken, that's no good, because, well, then it'll just, you know, fail and stuff. Whoops, no. Spirit Index, NDA, what does NDA have? Oh, sandals. Would that be it? I'm gonna try sandals. Come on, yes, sandals. Okay, there we go. Oh, like, did they say sliding or open or something like that? Because if it was sliding, then I can sort of see how we get sliding. You slide your foot in there, or if we get open. Like, if they're open, I see. Alright, so now, in addition to all of it, in addition to fighting, we can also run away. So if you don't want to, say, engage in any combat, then you can just run away, and it's as simple as that. Which is fine if you're not into combat, but do know that because it's an RPG, you will genuinely need to be a specific level to engage in certain battles. Like, I believe there's a battle in the previous section over here that you need to be about level 30 for. So, if you want to engage in that battle, then bloody good luck to you, mate, because, well, if you, like, avoid all the battles, good luck to you, because, you probably won't be level 30 then, I bet. Alright, let's go over here. Hey, I don't want to talk. Did he just trade? Did he just steal something from me, or did he just give it to me? Oh, well. Anyway, let's just get back out of here. Oh, okay, we still got a place to go. Alright, this is going to be intense. Oh, see, we got... See, by just having... Oops. What the hell? Stop attacking me, I'm trying to run away. There we go. So instead of just having it, instead of making these small discrete movements and just making these large things, like larger movements instead, I do get hit by something, alright? So, let's go here. Come here to fix your katana, yep. So, here's a town where we can go and rest up and do stuff like that. So, we can rest here and this will fix up our health. We can go over here and we can eat something, I believe. No, this is actually where we can buy like rice balls, or we can buy like spirit indexes and stuff like that, or we can sell some of our stuff for money. We actually do have money. It's over here. It's got P's, which I think stands for like pounds, I guess. Alright, and yes, I want to eat here. There we go. So now my hunger has been filled, so now I move around much faster. And I also can, you know, generally be a lot healthier. I guess, you know, you gotta have like lots of food in the day if you engage in lots of physical activity and stuff. Now your hunger does only increase while you are moving. So if you are trying to like get somewhere and you're like trying to if you're moving a lot, don't worry too much. What am I trying to say here? No. If you're not moving a lot, don't worry too much about your hunger, like, oh my god, I'm wasting time. What? Giant tree. Oh, I want you to go around it. Alright, yeah, so if you're like standing still and you're thinking, oh god damn it, no, I'm wasting time by just thinking about movements, don't worry, because I was actually the same way, thinking like, oh, by standing here figuring out times where I need to go, I'm actually wasting my hunger and stuff like that. But no, it only changes when you're making a movement, so that's good. Let's visit the Tsukumogami Shrine, and now we are getting some actual like plot and stuff like that. Now the plot is mostly delivered through just text boxes and dialogue boxes and stuff like that. So if you're not into dialogue boxes, or what are they called? There's some specific word for it, but I don't think dialogue box is the right word. It's like text box, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, if you're not into text boxes, sounds wrong. I know there's a more specific word for it, but I just can't think of it. Anyway, if you're not into games delivering their story through text boxes and not through voice acting, then you probably won't enjoy this game and its story, because it doesn't really... Is this a teapot? I think this is a teapot. Hold on, it said pouring, so I think it's a teapot. Yeah, it's a teapot! Sweet! People are getting killed by a teapot. Just wanted to point that out there. A fucking teapot is going around just destroying hundreds and thousands of people. A teapot! Ugh, my goodness. Anyway, early on in the game, the combat is pretty boring. It takes about an hour or two for the combat to really get interesting. While the kinesthetics are great, and it does feel fun to attack stuff, it is very repetitive. But you have to wait until you get to the Pokemon sort of section for it to get really interesting, or at least that's what I'm told. Ah, another Tsukumogami appears. Alright, let's just defend ourselves and attack this guy. I also haven't shown you what the English dialogue stuff looks like. I apologize. So after this, I'll be sure to show you that. Let's just defend us a bit more. So a good way to actually try and max out both of your little gems down here really quickly is to actually use defense. So because maybe this is why the defense doesn't automatically or fill as quickly as the attack, because you have a higher chance of filling in your defense than you do your attack. So basically, by defending a lot, they may attack you, and then that'll give you the chance to like counterattack, which will fill up this gem. So maybe that's why. So if you want to fill up both of them really quickly, I could recommend that. Okay, so it's got an O. Let's do another one real quick. You do get the chance to defend, fill up this as well while attacking, but it's seems to be rarer. Okay, O and E. O and E. O and E. What have we got here that's O and E? Do you guys see anything? Scarecrow? Maybe? Alright, I'm gonna give Scarecrow a shot since you didn't say anything better. Nope, didn't see it. So why didn't you help me out? Why didn't you help me out, jerk? I trusted you. Alright, so now just need to finish this thing first. There we go. Hold on, what have we got here? O-E-H. O-E and H. What is that? Ho! Oh! Oh, a hoe. Right, okay. That makes more sense. Alright, okay, so I'll do hoe this time. Okay, come on. There we go. Press V. So now we can also use the keyboard instead of just using our mouse to press stuff. So we actually got hoe here. We do have hoe here. Sweet. Can I just press it on the spirit index? Oh, I can. Sweet. I didn't know that. I actually just found that out right there. So you guys have learned something along with me. Isn't that fancy? So it seems like we've grown together. We're pretty much old men at this point, I guess. Anyway, so now we just need to quickly beat this thing up by fucking destroying it. Can we actually... Oh, okay, no, you can't actually use your little things down here. I forget the actual technical term. I think they're like gems or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, as you progress through the game, you will unlock more of these little jewels that you'll need to use throughout combat, so it will become more interesting than just basically spamming attack after figuring out the name of the monster. So don't worry about that. Oh my god, would you stop using a fucking potion, you piece of shit? I'm trying to kill you. Thank you. Jeez. Alright, there we go. So we got a lot of XP for that. There we go. Alright, and now this is how the story is told, basically. Just like this. Hey! Okay. Oh, pretty lady. Alright, there's a lot of, like, females and stuff like in this game. It's cool, so if you're into, like, playing as female characters that are kick-ass, then I guess, this is a game for you. Oh my god, so much dial. Okay, there we go. And so this is basically your options. You've got save, load, back to title, autoplay speed, slow, normal, fast. I don't even know what this means. I think this means text? I don't know. And Japanese and English, that's all we've got. Alright, and I suppose we actually do have, like, some options, like, hold on, let me just move this. There you go. Alright, so we've got, like, display here, which can go in full screen or windowed. We got music options here and stuff like that, and I think that's pretty much it. So thank you for sticking around, everyone. I hope you enjoyed 99 Spirits. If you did enjoy this game video of this game, then be sure to vote for it on Steam Dreamlight. There will be a link in the description below, and GG.